Hello everyone, Matt from ReoBrix here, and we're taking a look at something very different today. Something that's not Lego, not LumiBrix, ReoBrix Game Store. Stay tuned. Welcome back everybody. In today's video we're going to take a look at something very different. This is the first time I've ever built anything from this brand. I will say from the outset, I bought this because I was inspired by a ReoBrix haul fairly recently from the time of this build, where he ordered this amongst a number of other third-party alternate brick brands off of barware.com. I got this off of Amazon directly for just under $50 US at the time, and this is going to be my first experience profiling and looking at this kind of set, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff here. There are a few things to talk about, so let's get into it. First, I want to share some thoughts on the instruction booklet. You do have two potential builds with this set. I did focus on the main style. You can also build the second one, which I did not do and won't be talking about here. But I did actually have an extra bag because I did not build this particular set for whatever reason. So just for reference again, this is ReoBrix 66503 Game Store. Instruction booklet from the get-go is honestly pretty good. Instructions to me were pretty clear. They give you a lot of very clear indication of where things are going throughout the build. Right? Even with complex things, they give you kind of sub-assemblies. They give you the parts you need at every step, which is nice. In some cases, they clarify clearly where certain things are going. The only thing I would note, and this was happening in multiple steps as I was going through here, the way that the bags were separated out, they were very small groups of bags. This is the bag that I did not end up using for the build. They had a small bit of parts in every bag across 3 large bags, but they were labeled like, you know, 3-1, 3-2, 3-3, up to 3-8 in this case. And it just happens that a lot of times as you're working through a build, you get to a point after, when you're in a bag, and you'd be like, wait, where's those parts? You'd actually have to open up the next bag to continue. And these instructions did not really give you an indication that was the case. You'd have to kind of intuitively know, oh, I need to move on to the next bag to get some of those parts. Differences happen to occur when you get to like literally the third main bag in this case, right? So this finishes up B, was the second group of bags. This goes to the third bag, which they're calling group C. And then you just get right back into it again. So they flow mostly left to right here. There are some times where you may do a previous step. So let's say you might do like C1 and you get to like down to C5 and it's like, oh, do the things you did in these other steps and put them here. So they're trying to make sure that you don't forget to place certain things in the build from previous steps, which is kind of interesting. It's like keeping you on top of things. So to me, as an experienced builder, I didn't really have any significant qualms with the instruction booklet once I kind of realized what the pattern was. It seemed to flow pretty well. And yeah, I was generally happy with the instruction booklet, how it went. Before we get into the build, I did want to point out also, this set has a lot of stickers. A lot. This was my sticker sheet from the set. The ones you see still on there came from the alternate build that I did not do. It so happened that when I opened this up, I actually had duplicate sticker sheets. So this, you can actually see, is the original sticker sheet. This is my duplicate. So there's a lot on here. They do not do any prints. There are probably some places here that you can leave stickers off for detail, especially inside if you don't want to do them. Other places, it might change the detailing a little bit, but there's a lot here. Very different from LumiBrix. Probably in some ways, even more than maybe an equivalent Lego build like this. But that's just kind of the trade-off that you get with something like this that's otherwise a little bit cheaper. All right, let's actually focus on this build now, because that's what the core meat of this is. This is basically on a 16x16 plate with a couple additional studs of extension outwards to form the sidewalk here. And my first impressions after I built this over a few live streams, I'm very happy with the build. I think it's a great concept. There's a lot of great detailing here. Again, a lot of stickers to create the detailing, but it looks really good. I mean, the fact that they included a utility pole with power connections to the building, you never see that in other builds. This is a very extraneous detail that was not necessary, but they included it, and it's pretty cool. This does have lighting. I'll show you the lighting coming up. This does have 2 floors, and similar to ReoBrix builds, there is a little back door you can open up to get inside to the back. We'll take a look at that momentarily. Second floor does not really have anything to open up, unfortunately, just by the nature of the construction here. The roof does come off. I'm not going to take it off because of the way I got the wiring inside there right now, but it generally works well. Small building inside. A lot of detailing though. This is an old game store, so there's some arcade cabinets, console stuff. That basically is one of the clearest stickers you have. Is that telling you what's going on in this building? Some nice little extra detailing out front, hydrant, plants, and all that stuff. Nice sign again. Sticker over multiple tiles. That was actually a fairly frequent occurrence too. Is you put stickers over multiple tiles or pieces. I remember that from Lego in the 80s and 90s, so that's not new to me. But this company is doing that, so some folks may take some exception to that in particular. This is an example. This is an example of that. This is an example. Lots of other parts inside. This over here is an example of it on the side of this cabinet. So if you have issues with that, be aware there are stickers getting placed over multiple parts throughout the course of this build. The wiring for the lighting is not bad. It's on the same par with ReoBrix and the sizing, the scale of the parts and the wires, and the very small connection piece, which for me, with my large hands, makes it a little tricky, but it works. They did kind of get around the building, having a completely enclosed second floor by running a wire out and then down to where the connection occurs down here as well. I had a laugh because they have you build this old school phone, public phone, which makes it feel a little dated. I had to chuckle about that. This building is basically minifigure scale. They don't give you any figures at all for this. It's just the building. So it works. You can put this into an alternate Lego or an alternate brand or a Lego city. I'm sure it'll work fine. Lots of nice stuff on the top. Little animal there. You got a little bird down here, so they're including things like that. Second floor is basically a little studio. Just to show you that real quick here. Basically a bed and some shelvings, which that bookshelf, I did have some issues with getting that together. I had a problem with that a little bit. Bedroom, fairly simple. Basically a little place to sleep for the owner perhaps, but it works well enough, I suppose. All right, let's have a look at this thing lit up and see how good it looks. Okay, so the default wiring they give you is coming out to a USB type A connection. I'm just using one of my battery packs that I've got to power this up. It's pretty bright. There's a lot of stuff going on here. You've got a couple of overhead lights for the sign. You've got a very bright interior between something on the back and then overhead, really lighting this up. And second floor even has a nice bright light bar on top there that livens up this entire room. Almost a little bit of overkill, but I'm okay with it because you can see everything going on here. I did want to point out there's another light back here as well, which feels right. You want to have something on your back porch. But now we've got this lit up, let me show you the inside here. Those are blocking away a little bit, so it's tough to get that open. But you got a couple of gaming consoles inside there. Those are examples where they have you stickering across multiple pieces. Not the best, but it works. Very old style arcade games. It's just kind of fun to put together. Console and stuff over there. Random, just nice little detailing. It's kind of cool. It works. It gets you the gist of this being a little retro game store kind of thing, and I think the concept works. Let me show you while this is lit up how the connections all come into play here. So this door does open up. So there are a lot of wires that run down into this point. And they give you this little connection board to plug everything in. So I was streaming this build live when I ended one of my streams before I finished the building. When I finished the stream one day, I went back offline and did all these connections offline. Because it did take a few minutes, especially again with my big fingers here, to try to get these small things connected and get the wires organized enough so it just wasn't a complete fail to fit in there. You can see there's still a bit sticking out. It's not perfect, but from my own experience, I do a lot of my own wiring with my own do-it-yourself stuff. It's not easy to get stuff in here unless you're like ReoBrix and you've already accounted for running things in channels. So props to them for that kind of thing, right? They do have you stick this on the back of this little furniture unit here, which is nice for organization. And you can basically kind of tuck these in as best you can back there to help. But we'll get a look again from this perspective. Space is pretty small. You can fit a figure in there if you wanted to put one in. There is no space to connect them. Floor is completely tiled, as it is actually up on the second floor here as well. But it is figure scale, so it'll work. And there you go. Again, random fire extinguisher here next to a soda machine, which has a sticker on it, funny enough, but it gets enclosed into the building. So I don't really understand what the concept was of putting the sticker on here, because it's literally on a 2x6 tile and it's enclosed in the building. Like, you could see it right back there protruding into the building. I don't quite understand what that concept was. It is what it is, but it, you know, a little awkward there. But that's kind of a general look at the building. Again, it's a good little size on a 16x16 plate, again with extension out here of 3. So this is easily workable into a cityscape if you want to make it work. But that's going to do it right now for this look at a very different set. Again, this is ReoBrix, the game store, set 66503. I bought it on Amazon for just under $50 US. You could probably find it elsewhere, maybe around similar prices, but it was delivered to me pretty quickly through Amazon from US distribution, so I'm pretty happy with that. A lot of action going on here. Lighting is fantastic. Love the detailing. Sticker presence, again, is a little overwhelming, especially putting it on multiple plates and or tiles. So take that for what you will. Instruction booklet overall was good for me to follow. And just the overall look and feel, the flow of the process, I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm nitpicking about a couple things, but I did want to call those things out that I did have an issue with. But overall, for the price that this is and what it is, yeah, I'd recommend this. Thanks for watching, everybody. I do appreciate it. If you haven't, be sure to follow me over on Twitch at ReoBrix, where I build things like this and all their great projects in front of a great chat group over on Twitch. A lot of good times, great community. And be sure to subscribe here as well. Hit that like button, notification bell, comment a thought below, all that good stuff. Thank you for watching. Until next time, bye for now.